Hey folks, I just thought I'd let you in on a little project I'm working on in the house. I went out and bought one of these, the what is it? The AC1200. It's a range extender or a repeater. Interesting little project I had going. What I did is I took one repeater, put it at the back of the house, and I put another repeater in the garage. Now that garage is 80 feet at least away from the house, so getting a connection out there is really tough. Now, why would I need everything out in the garage? Quite honestly, I do a lot of service work on cars, and sometimes I like this weekend I needed to look up a code for the computer on a car, and I had to walk outside and get my phone to connect to the wireless. Now, I did hook it up, and surprisingly enough, it worked. First shot, it was so amazing. However, you know, when it gets nasty weather, it don't hook up worth the beans, and it's dog slow, and I mean slow. Like, you know, you hit Google and you go, one image shows up, another image shows up, like it's dog slow. So I thought this is not going to work. I also tried the Google wireless mesh system. Cool system, super simple to set up. I had it set up in 5 minutes. It was so easy. However, it basically creates a dome over your house and makes your signal super strong, but as far as getting at any distance, yeah, not so much. So the further the domes are, the bigger the dome gets, but problem is if you're too far, one dome won't connect with the other dome. It's in my garage, it just would not talk to each other. So I'm actually installing, connecting to my router, and I'm putting outside an aerial that points directly at my garage. Apparently, the literature says that it shoots the signal over a mile long. Hackers beware, I guess. You know, I want to make sure I got serious passwords on my stuff. But behind me all's bush anyway, so I'm going to be hooking that up in a couple weeks. But what I bought this one for was in the house here on the far end, we have a problem where if you're sitting there talking on the phone, you lose communication. So I decided they work good enough that I just want to have one installed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through setting one of these units, which is pretty darn easy actually. So what you do is you pull it out of the box, obviously. In the box, you will find this little card. I'm going to cover up my ID stuff on it. That card has the password, web address, and all that sort of stuff. So what we're going to do, I don't know if I'm not going to be able to show you this as well as I was hoping. Let me see if I can grab this. No, apparently not. Okay, so let's see if I get it closer if it makes a difference. All right, so you have to have a wireless computer to do this. So sorry folks, can't see it. I'll have to explain as best I can. So go to your taskbar at the bottom. You'll see your little icon bars for your network. In my particular case, this unit, it says DLINK, and some of them say ACF, DLINK F005, DLINK WWW. Like it'll have a number associated with it, and it'll say it on your card. So what you want to do is you want to connect to that, click on that number, double click on it, and it's going to try to connect to it. It's going to ask you a password. Now, it's not the password for your network at this point. It is a password that's on this card. And because I'm reading the French side, it's a little bit more difficult. And my password okay, hit enter and say yes. Verifying and waiting to connect. I'm now connected to the unit itself. Okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is close this down. Go to your browser. It can be any browser. It can be Explorer. It can be, I prefer Firefox, but a lot of people can do anything else. Now, on your card, there is a web address here. And I thought I did save mine. So it'll have on the very bottom of the web address. Punch in that web address into your browser. Hit enter. Oh. And this one I think, oh. Do not need a password to get into this software. Click to repair. Okay, this is the first time this has ever come up. So I'm going to shut this off completely because this is something new. I guess this is their new software. Okay. So we're going to go to settings at the top. You're going to see home and settings. Go to extender. If a menu pops up and it's trying to set it up for you, just cancel that because it'll just take you forever to do it. So lo and behold, what you have is your Wi-Fi. So in this particular case, since I don't want the hackers to see what my network is, you type in your network, the name of your network at your house that you started off with. All right. Then you go down. Helps if you click on the box. Okay. So then we go down, and the key here is the password for your network, not the password on the card, the password for your network. Type that in. Okay, so we got that done. We're going to say status enable, Wi-Fi status enable. This is the name of the router, and we're going to change the password here. Now, this is up to you. I personally would change the password to your router password because it just means that your laptop will always know it can connect to the extender or it can connect to this. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to set it to the same password as my router. Again, you can set it up wherever you want, but it just means you're going to have to force yourself to put a password in every time, and this, my system will just see it and go. Now, when you're done all that, just say save. Now, I should mention that while you're doing this, this light will stay yellow. And until it's finished doing its thing, when it first kicks on, it goes red. Then it will go yellow and stay in the flashing mode. And that means it's not connected, it's waiting to be connected. So it takes 66, like a minute apparently. I've just said save, and what it'll do now is it'll try and connect to this unit. If we're successful, this unit will turn green, and then we should have a status bar at the top. We have 53 seconds left. What can we talk about for 53? How's the weather where you guys are? Because it's rainy here, it's cold. It's not your typical Canadian weather because it's not snowing. We don't get snow all the time, you guys, just to say. Like, we don't have igloos here either. We get hot weather just like everybody else. Yeah, I am running out of things to say. Anyway, I live out on the lake, and I'm looking outside right now, and we got rolling waves about a foot. Kind of cold outside, jacket, autumn, kind of weather, football weather, I guess you might say. 17 seconds left. This is the most boring part of this video. And do yourself a favor, if you lose this card, on the back of the unit, it has all the same information, so you should be okay. But I like to keep the boxes stored in my closet, so that way if I ever lose this stuff. Okay, so it says that it's been successfully connected. Now, you'll notice while I was yammering away here, look what happened. Light turned green, I have full bar signals. So, when you place this unit, so this is ready to go. I can unplug this unit now. If I had more strength, I can just go plug it anywhere in the house, and as long as this bar is green. The one thing I'm going to tell you about these units, they don't stress this enough. If this was your house, and I put the aerial here, what happens is it creates an extended dome sort of thing over your house. So that's great, but if you turn around and you put it way at the end of the house and you've only got 1 or 2 bars showing up here, what happens is that dome becomes really weak and it doesn't send the signals quite as good as it should. So what you want to do is you want to go to the very extreme where you've got full bars. So for example, what I did is I walked into the bathroom and realized, ooh, I only got 2 bars. But I stepped 2 feet over, further away, believe it or not, but it's something to do with interference from the hydro lines. 2 feet away into the back room, and I got perfect signal there, and it actually casted over the whole end of the house. I got perfect signal for my laptop. So be very careful. Make sure that this will always have the strongest bars on it wherever you place it. Like, obviously you don't want it in the same room as your router because it's not going to do any good for you. But for example, if I go over in that room over there with my phone, for some reason this wall has a lot of hydro running through it, and for some reason there's spots that I can be talking on my phone because I do Wi-Fi phone, and it'll disconnect on me. But what I'm going to do is put it in the kitchen on the other far side of the kitchen. Now it not only catches that kitchen, but it also catches the upstairs on the other side because it's got such a strong signal strength. Simple, easy to use, 49 bucks, people. Come on. Like, now you can do the same thing with another router, and I can do a video on that if you really want. If you want to put a thing below, I can show you how to take an old router and do that. But it's just DHCP, and you tell it to be like a repeater, and it's all basically most things they have that. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done it. I'm not sure if I can do it with a wireless. You might have to do a connection to it, but it's to give you signal strength and another. Like if, say, for example, I want to do over there with another router, you could put a cable under the floor, run to that one, connect to that, and now I'd have full power on all parts of the house. So that's really how to get a really strong signal. But to get another router to do a wireless when you're not really connected to it, there's a little bit of tricky stuff to do that. So I'd have to do an actual video on it, and pretty much blow my mind trying to do it. Anyway, listen, 49 bucks, worthwhile investing. You can't go wrong with these little units. Yeah, I did have a couple problems with a couple of them right off the bat. They got really hot, and they get really hot. If for some reason it doesn't connect when you're trying to connect, just walk over to the plug, take it out, plug it back in, you'll be okay. I found that the one unit, I only had to do that once in a two-week period, and we had a power failure in the middle of that, so I attribute it to that. But other than that, D-Link didn't do a bad job on these ones, so what the heck. I will do a video on the Pi-Fi system that I'm putting in, which is kind of cool. I can't wait to get that. And I'll do a complete video on how I hooked it up, and I'm not going to show you how I drill holes through the walls and put it through the basement and hooked it up to the router. That's pretty basic. Anyway. See, I could have filled in all that blank space by just talking like this about other stuff, right? Instead, I talked about the stupid link. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Like, subscribe. If you want to hear something, see something, do something. I won't do any strip poker or anything like that, but I'll do anything that's technical and do with cars and stuff. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching the video.